Today I'll be reviewing the Inova time off workflow. With this feature, we have added a new time off accrual section to the contact details screen for employee contact types. Users with the HR admin permission are able to view this section for all employee contacts in their Aspire system. Users without the HR admin permission are able to view this section only on their own employee contact details screen in Aspire. The time off accruals table pulls the selected employee's time off balances from Inova and displays them in Aspire upon loading the page. In addition to showing accrual balances, managers can see a notification of the number of pending time off requests they have to respond to for their direct reports. If a user wants to manage their time off or approve time off requests for employees in Inova, they can click the Manage in Inova button to open Inova in a new tab. If they are already logged into Inova, they will be taken to their dashboard. Otherwise, they will be taken to the Inova login screen and then redirected to the dashboard upon successful login. Once a manager approves a time off request in Inova, they will see the number of pending requests update accordingly in Aspire after the contact details page is refreshed. This concludes the Inova time off workflow overview.
In this video, we are going to take a look at the full process for how you sync payroll between Aspire and Inova rather than exporting the file today. So what you're going to see here is on your weekly time review, everything looks the same. I have already exported my time, so it's showing me that this particular group of time has already been exported. So we're just going to go ahead and export it again. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and show you over on my demo company here. We're going to synchronize this payroll that we're looking at today with the 614 payroll here in my demo. So what I'm going to see, you can see here is there's no employees in this payroll today, no hours that are in there. And if I were to click on the view batches next to that, I'm going to see the different types of batches that I currently have in this payroll. If I come back over here, go ahead and select everyone, click Sync Payroll, you're going to see that I can see this upcoming 614 payroll in my dropdown. I can see that I can choose the payroll batches, so I can choose like a week 1 or a week 2 or whatever batch I'm used to importing my payroll into. Select that. In this case, because I've already exported the time, I'm going to include previously exported items, and I'm going to click Submit. When I do that, I'm going to come back over to my demo, and here are my batches, and I'm going to hit refresh. Not quite everything isn't quite over there yet. Now everything is, because I can tell that there's the 113 hours that I expected to see. Here's the 113 hours, 3 employees. If your view looks slightly different, meaning you don't have the number of batch employees or the total number of hours on this particular batch screen, you can always go to select columns and then move those total batch hours, the total hours as well as the number of employees over into your view to the right. Hit select columns and then save that setting, as your default, setting for this view. So that is that shows you the full process for what it looks like to sync payroll over. No more exporting or importing. Now, what I will show you real quickly that is a new feature. So if you are a client that has historically exported your time and then run it through a payroll macro, because you needed to combine, say, branch and division, you will notice now that when you click the when you bring it over from Aspire to Inova, If I were to open the file up manually, just like I used to do, you can see now that those branch and division codes are now married and now in the same column, um, in the same cost center, which is what it looked like to you after you ran your macro. Of course, now that comes directly into Inova, directly from Aspire, without having to run through the macro, without having to export the time. All of that automatically is done for you. In this video, I'm going to explain a little bit about how the burden true up works, as well as run an example for you so you can see how it ultimately impacts the system for the employees that I'm going to be giving you the demo for. So let's first take a peek at what you have to have set up in order for the burden true up to function. Number one, if you go to your bottom left-hand corner, go to administration, go to configuration, time reporting, Inova settings, setup. There's a labor or settings. There's a labor burden section here, and what this is doing is it is having you check the box to say that you want to, number one, use this feature. Number two, you have three options. One is you can bring back to calculate the true up payroll taxes, workers' comp, and employer deductions. This is what your cost is for, say, benefits or 401k match or for, that sort of thing. So the way that the burden true up works is, let's say someone was paid $1,000 and their taxes were X amount, their workers' comp was X amount, the employer deductions or match was X amount. Add those things together, and then that total number, let's say the totals for taxes, workers' comp, and employer deductions were another, say, couple $100. So if someone was paid $1,000 and the total costs above and beyond their wages were 200, that's a burden of 20%, right? So the total cost is $1,200. So you can choose which of these items that you want to use for calculating that true up for your company. So if we were to just, for example, take a look at how the system initially, when you go to work on a ticket as an employee, the system adds your cost, your base rate as the cost for the labor that you're doing. So in this case, $12. The burden on top of that we're projecting in this example here is 32%. So the total cost is $15.84. Well, if I go to look at a specific pay period and say I want to ultimately true up the burden for Ashley, and I could select all of my employees on this page, but I could come over here and I could select to run burden true up. When I do that, it's going to bring up a listing of the pay periods, and I'm just going to go ahead and select the 8/5 to 8/11 pay period, which corresponds, by the way, to the 8/5 to 8/11 period that I'm looking at on my screen, but I could technically run it for other periods of time as well. I'm going to hit submit, and the system is going to now, in the background, begin to run the burden true up. And so if I go back to this employee, Ashley, and I scroll down to her section for burden, it is not yet updated, but let's give it just a moment. And I'm going to pause this recording and be right back as soon as it updates. All right, I am back with you. So it just took about 2 minutes for the burden true up to run, but you can see here that it ran today, 8/16, the day I'm recording this video. And what it looks at here is it says, okay, for the period of time of 8/5 through 8/11, so any tickets worked between that period of time, as I was working them, my burden percentage that I was assuming was 32%. Okay. But when we ran the burden true up, the system said, well, actually, your gross pay was this, your employer taxes were $39, your workers' comp was $679, and your employer deductions, like for health care or match, was 102. Your actual burden was $21.78. And so what that's doing is telling me that that is what my actual burden was, not the 32% that I projected the burden would be. So that tells you right there that and that could fluctuate, right? That might have you as an employer saying, well, if I see a trend where I know that my burden true up is dramatically different than what I'm projecting on my pay rate screen, then I might need to update my burden percentage on my employees, which, by the way, we can do in mass inside of Inova and push those burden rates. If you update many people all at the same time, we can update them in mass as well. So that is how the burden true up works. The 21.78% would be reapplied to the work tickets that Ashley worked from 8/5 through 8/11 to give you the actual cost in addition to her hourly rate for the time that she worked between 8/5 and 8/11.
Managing employees in today's world is getting tougher. You need to attract, manage, engage, and retain your employees effectively. This single platform does it all, bringing the entire employee lifecycle into a single solution, making employee operations easier than ever before. It starts with your core HR function. Create job requisitions, post them directly to job boards to attract candidates, and collect their information during the recruitment and hiring process. Once you're ready to onboard employees, this information is saved to the employee record, while onboarding checklists and forms like employee handbooks, I-9s, and W-4s allow you to carry out consistent processes throughout your organization. Scheduling, time and attendance, and payroll help streamline day-to-day management and operations and create a clearer picture of costs and productivity. Give employees what they want with the power of mobile and self-service. This will enable you to automate processes and put administrative power in the hands of employees, which can reduce costs by almost 70%. While customizable reporting and analytics give you the power to stay on top of workforce trends in real time and make more informed decisions about managing employees in the moment. Develop long-term strategies to accomplish your organization's goals and keep top talent longer with performance, compensation, and benefits management. Are you ready to manage the end-to-end employee lifecycle by streamlining and improving employee operations across the board? Contact us today and see what the power of a single platform can do for you.
The leadership team there has anticipated our growth as we have regular communications and partner meetings and have increased the size of our customer service team. They've given me a designated relationship manager. I mean, they've really truly been a tremendous partner in the growth of Sperber Landscape Companies.
We have been able to take our benefit enrollment and now it's digital. It can be done from your laptop at home. It can be done from your phone. You can compare plans within the software versus the entire paper packet we used to have to hand out, and you're paging through. You can compare the cost and scenarios. That's been huge on just implementing that is streamline our HR aspect from that point of view. The other aspects of it is it's the app is super friendly, requesting time off, applying internally for jobs, the applicant tracking piece of it. We've been happy with all aspects of it.